Hello, everybody out there in Rumble, X, and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego. And today we're going to talk some more about Eat, Pray, Love. This movie that you love. You love, I don't love it. This travesty. I think I understand the appeal that women have with this movie. I think I know why women love it so much. I mean, it did decent at the box office. This movie came out in 2010. It cost $60 million to make, but you got to remember, 2010, $60 million is like $85 million today, all right? So it cost $60 million to make back then, okay, and it made $205 million, so it made a profit. I don't know why they didn't make a sequel, but they did. Maybe because Liz Gilbert hadn't written a book yet to go with it. But yeah, it did well. It did well. Usually when a movie like that does well, then they make a sequel, but they didn't. So yeah, it made 205 million off of 60 million. Okay, so this is back when people went to the movies more than they do today. So like 205 million is probably about 300, maybe 320 million today. So it did basically what the housemaid did. Okay, it did like that. Okay, the housemaid cost less. Okay, because there were no big stars in it. Sydney Sweeney is a rising star. She's not an A-lister, whereas Julia Roberts was already an A-lister when she signed on. So she got the biggest paycheck out of everybody in this movie. Okay, she was already an A-lister. They wouldn't have made the movie if Julia Roberts hadn't agreed to play the part. All right, so that's the kind of power that Julia Roberts had back then. But she don't have that anymore. Okay, just so you know. Okay, so yeah, so it did well. Okay, which is why I'm reviewing it. Okay, I wouldn't review a chick flick that nobody saw, that nobody cared about. Why would I do that? Okay, no, this is the queen of the chick flicks, queen of the rom coms. Okay, Julia Roberts and Meg Ryan were like neck and neck. Although by this time, I think Meg Ryan had already stepped out. She's a little bit older than Julia Roberts, and she Botoxed her face and just ruined her face and stuff. She cheated. What killed her was she cheated on her husband Dennis Quaid with Russell Crowe. And once that happened, she couldn't be playing the nice girl next door, honest, faithful, loving wife anymore, just trying to find true love. No, because everyone knew she was a whore by this time. So the cat was out of the bag. The media already knew about it. Everyone knew about it. So no one was going to spend money to go see a woman play a nice, good girl who just wants to find true love. And when they know that, that she smokes more meat than Hickory Farms behind her husband's back in real life. So yeah, so that kind of ruined her image, and she was getting older. Like I said, all the Botox and stuff on her face. She ruined her face. She did what Melanie Griffith did, ruined their face. All these women ruined their faces. Okay, all these A-listers, these women that you looked up to when you were younger, these women that were the role models on how to be feminine. Okay, these were your icons. These were the Kim Kardashians of the 80s and 90s. Okay, I want to look like her. I want to be like her. Oh my God, if she's gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. Blah, blah. Well, now they all look like shit. Okay, now they all look like crap. Now they look like Madonna. Okay, you look at some of these actresses like Famke Janssen. Oh God, look what she did to herself. It's sad. Okay, Melanie Griffith. I used to have the hots for Melanie Griffith. She was so sexy. With that, she had, she was built like a woman, but she had that like 13-year-old girl's voice, Oh my gosh, she looked incredible. And then I see pictures of her when she was younger. Okay, when she was like a teenager, when she was like 17 or something, and she was having sex with Ryan O'Neal when she was supposed to be babysitting Tatum O'Neal. Yeah, yeah. If you look at like her back then, because her parents, her mom was a movie star, Tippi Hedren. Okay, you look at her back then, dude. Oh my God, she looked incredible. Look at some of the early stuff that she did. Okay, she just looked naturally gorgeous, like in her 20s and stuff, And now, look at her now, man. Look what she did to her face. God, gosh, it's just gross. So many women do this. Courtney Cox did this. All these women do this. Even like Jessica Simpson did this. And I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you, ladies? What's with the peer pressure or something? Because men aren't attracted to this. Look at Lisa Rinna. Men are not attracted to this. They're not attracted to that Botox crap. Okay? That doesn't look natural. Okay? I'm sorry, but, women are built different than men. Okay? We all get older. We do. Okay? Nothing can be done. If you're lucky, you'll live to be old. If you're lucky. You see what I mean? We all get older. You just got to accept that. You're not going to be hot and young anymore. You're not. Okay, and that's all you have to lead with, and what the fuck are you gonna do? What can you do? If that's all you had, like look at someone like Shannon Elizabeth. Remember her from the American Pie movies? Okay, she's doing OnlyFans now. I'm not making that up. She's doing OnlyFans now because nobody wants to hire her because she was never a talented actress. She was just a beautiful woman, but now she's too old. Okay, and you know Hollywood's contracting right now. They're not. There's no jobs in Hollywood anymore. Okay, movies aren't being made in Hollywood anymore. There's no money. Okay, because nobody's watching the streaming shows. Nobody's going to the movie theater. Okay, they're going on strike every 3 years. You know, whether it's the writers or the actors or whatever. Okay, so nothing's getting done. People, they're not spending the money anymore. Okay, the jobs are contracting. Okay, so you got these people that used to star on their own TV shows. Now they can't get work. Now they're like doing DoorDash and stuff. I'm not making this up. You know, and if all they did in the 90s and the 2000s, if all they had to market was their sex appeal, mostly women, then they don't have that anymore. They're too old. They're too old. You know what really broke my heart? Jamie Presley. Okay, oh my God. And maybe some of you don't know who she is. She was on that show, My Name is Earl, and she was in a Not Another Teenage Movie and a bunch of low budget stuff. I think she was in a Poison Ivy movie, and she was in a movie called White Trash. I'm not making that up. That's the name of the movie, White Trash. She's on the cover, okay? And then she was also in something, they made a movie called Ringmaster, which was like a movie about Jerry Springer. Yes, that Jerry Springer. And she was in that. I remember seeing her in that. Okay, but she was in my top 10. She was back then, back in the 2000s, early 2000s, she was in my top 10. She was that gorgeous, that sexy, that hot. And now she's doing OnlyFans. And she's like 49, 48 years old. Come on. Woman, what the hell's wrong with you? Are you that insecure? Do you really need that attention so much? Is it so important that people look at you as a sex symbol, even though your heyday was like 20, 25 years ago? Is it really that important to you? You just can't let go of that? Is that your entire identity? That without the sex appeal, you're nothing? Okay? See, these women are being exposed. Now, you young women watching this don't understand what I'm talking about. You think I'm just full of it. Oh, that's just another old man who's just jealous because strong, independent women. No. Okay? These women I'm telling you about were strong, independent women back in the day. And now I see where they are. Okay? And that's where the women today are going to end up too. Only they're going to get there quicker. Because we got stuff like Ozempic now and shit. All right? They're going to get there a lot quicker. And guess what? If you follow them, you're going to end up there too. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay? I'm going to tell you what your boyfriend's not going to tell you, your husband ain't going to tell you this, your dad ain't going to tell you. I'm going to tell you this, okay? Because you need to know, okay? If you keep up with this eat, pray, love crap, the message that's in here, just go be you, do whatever the hell you want, okay? Just be all about yourself. Focus on yourself. When you live that kind of a life, okay, guess what? You're going to end up being the only one that does, okay? Because people that are selfish don't even make friends with each other. You see what I mean? It's all about them. What can that person do for me? What can I get from them? Not what can I do for them? What can I give to them? How can I make their life better? It's all about how can you make my life better? You see what I mean? There's no back and forth. It's completely one-sided. And that's the message behind this piece of shit. Liz Gilbert has nothing to offer anybody, okay, other than her neurosis. Okay? She has nothing to offer, but she has everything to take. She demands from men. She demands they have these things that she can use that can enhance her life, but she gives nothing in return. Think about it. When she was in, when she was at the ashram in Calcutta, excuse me, when she met Richard, okay, how did she enhance Richard's life? She didn't. She did nothing for Richard. Okay? She did nothing to make his personal struggles, his insecurity, his regrets, his depression, she did nothing to help him with that. He did everything for her. He walked her through the entire Hindu program, okay? Step by step, and guided her through the whole thing, okay? But she gave him nothing. Nothing, okay? The only person she gave anything to was Tulsi, okay, the Hindu girl that was forced to marry, what's his name, Mohinder Rakasnakarak Patel, the owner of your 7-Eleven. She was forced to marry him because of her family, okay? And what did Liz give her? She gave her warmth and light. I imagine you being happy with him, and that's what my gift to you. Okay, big deal, big deal. Okay, but I guess that's considered something in the Hindu religion or whatever. Okay, but that's it. And Tulsi gave Liz nothing, nothing. Okay, so what was that? Nothing. Okay, look at Liz when she was in Italy. Okay, what did she give to anybody there? No, nothing. Everybody in Italy gave to her. They took her to their family's house. They took her to Nice, okay, another city, okay, in Italy. They took her to the restaurants. They taught her English, okay. They hung out with her. They did things with her. They asked her to come to parties. They asked her to go to restaurants. They asked her, let's go shopping together. They all approached her. She did nothing for them. She didn't hook anybody up. She did nothing for anybody. Okay, and no, she did not get Sophie and Gio together. They were already Sophie and Gio were already in a thing. Okay, Gio was already tutoring Sophie way before Liz ever met Gio. Okay, so no, that was going to happen regardless of whether Liz was there. She did not play matchmaker in that. She did nothing for anybody. Okay, they all did for her. Once they met her, every Italian, once they met her, they automatically want to be her best friend and hang out with her and go with her everywhere. She did nothing to earn their respect or to earn their friendship. Nothing. They all just came and gave to her as soon as they saw her. She gave nothing to anybody. You see what I mean? They gave her history lessons. They took her around for nothing. And she did nothing for them. Do you understand? That's what I'm talking about. Okay, and now here she is in Bali. In Bali, okay? And what are we about to learn? Okay? We're about to learn what can she get out of the shaman. The shaman told her, okay, Ketut, okay, she went back to see the shaman from earlier in the movie, all right, the one who predicted the failure of her marriage. Well, you know, she was gonna fucking dump her husband, regardless of what that shaman told her, okay, because she had no respect for him, she didn't love him, she had no respect for him, nothing. She rolled his eyes at him, she didn't want to be seen with him, she didn't want to talk to him, she didn't want to have sex with him, she didn't want nothing with him, okay, so that was gonna happen no matter what. She didn't even go to Bali with him, okay, in the beginning of this movie, okay, so she's already used to going on vacations without her husband, okay. So the fact that she divorced her husband was no big deal. She was going to do it anyway, whether she went to Bali or not. Okay? Once again, what can I get from it? All right? So here now, okay, now she wants to get from Ketut, okay, the shaman, the one who has magical, Zoltar fortune machine powers. Okay? He's basically a human fortune cookie, right? And he shares with her his ancient texts, 1,000 years old, okay, which are the source of his powers. The magical spells are all in there. Okay, and rather than her write them, because she's not allowed to take those with her back to her apartment or anything, it has to stay there in the little hut. So what does she do? She steals them so that she can make Xerox copies of them, because it's too hard for her to obey their rules. She doesn't want to write down everything on a notebook, translate it that way. That would take too long. Okay, so she'd rather just steal it, disrespect the rules of the little fucking hut there, temple hut there, and just go off and do her own thing. That is Liz Gilbert. That's who she is. And if you look her up on Wikipedia and you see the decisions that she's made in her life, all of her choices, okay, she's a very selfish person. Okay, she divorced her first husband, okay, who she was married to for 8 years. She divorced him, okay, in this movie she divorced him, okay. Now, she met him in Coyote Ugly, because Coyote Ugly is a prequel to this, I know, unofficially, but it is. That's also that's Liz Gilbert working at Coyote Ugly, trying to make it as a writer. I know in the movie they made her a singer, but they had to, because you can't make a movie about a writer, all right? And then I never saw that movie, but I guess she falls in love with somebody at the end of it. Well, that's Michael Cooper. That's her real husband, and she married him, okay? She sold the article Coyote Ugly. They turned it into a movie, okay? Tyra Banks was in it, Maria Bello, the lesbian, was in it, blah, 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 okay? And then because of the clout she got from that, she wrote Eat, Pray, Love. She got an advance from her publisher. Once she decided to divorce that guy, Michael Cooper in real life, Steven in this movie, all right, once she divorced him, okay, she took the advance from her next novel, and that's when she went to Italy, to India, to Indonesia. That's when she did all that stuff, okay? And in Indonesia, where she's at right now, in Bali, she's going to meet Felipe, who in real life, I think his name was Jose Luis or something like that. I don't remember. Who gives a shit? But she's going to meet him, and in real life, she fell in love with this guy and married him. Okay? And so now that she's happily married, that's when this movie came out. Okay? Well, there have been a few developments since then. Like I said, this movie came out in 2010. That was 16 years ago. Okay? Well, she didn't even stick with this guy. Okay? She cheated on this guy. She had an affair with a lesbian named Raya. Okay? And she eventually divorced her husband, the guy that she falls in love with at the end of this movie, right? She divorced him to be with this woman, this butt ugly woman. She was suffering from cancer, okay, and she did pass away from cancer. And then Liz Gilbert decided to become heterosexual again, okay, and hooked up with a guy, okay, and then that guy dumped her because there's really nothing. She's too old, she's too jaded, okay, her pussy's been worn out, okay, and that's not really something that men find attractive in women. They don't really want to take women like that seriously, okay? If you've got that 1,000 cock stare, okay, if you've been with so many fucking men, okay, you're not really going to be that attractive to a man, much less a high value man, okay, which is the only man Liz Gilbert dates. No, these men are not high value, okay? They're portrayed as high value in this movie, but in real life, they're not high value. I've seen what this Jose Luis guy looks like, this real Felipe. I've seen what Michael Cooper looks like, okay? They don't look like actors, okay? They look like average, ordinary guys, okay? The fucking, the teller at the fucking bank, okay? The guy that stocks groceries at Walmart. That's what they look like, okay? Bald, everything, out of shape, all that crap. They don't look like James Franco, okay? They just don't. They don't look like Javier Bardem, okay? You see what I mean? That's what I'm trying to tell you, all right? So it takes away the romance of it, okay? The illusion of it, all right? So, and that's the kind of person that Liz Gilbert is, all right? She's not a good person. You women love her because she speaks in your language. She talks about her feelings. She talks about, transcendentalism and all the other bullshit that doesn't fucking matter in real life. She talks about how this experience makes her feel, about her clothes, about her weight, about all this gossip, all this shit that fucking women are really into. So she speaks your language, okay? And that's why y'all like her. She's one of you, so to say. Just the same thing Carrie Bradshaw was in Sex and the City. She was the voice for the audience, okay? Okay, she was the point of view for the women that were watching the show. You see what I mean? Okay, and that's what Liz Gilbert is here. Okay, but her point of view is jaded. Her point of view is selfish. Okay, and y'all don't realize it. Okay, you're right along here with her. You think that her decisions are good because she seems to be a good person. She's a piece of shit. This entire movie is all about her absolving herself of the guilt of leaving her husband and then leaving the guy that she was cheating on her husband with. She left him too. Okay, so this whole movie so far has been about her absolving her guilt, trying to get rid of that pesky little feeling in the back of her heart, telling her that she's a piece of shit for what she's done. That's the part that she needs to get rid of, and that's what Eat, Pray, Love is about. It's about getting rid of that, getting rid of her conscience. Okay, that keeps telling her that she fucked over some really good guys. You see what I mean? That's what this is. That's exactly what this is. And I'm pretty sure that she wrote a novel, okay, about how she fell in love with that lesbian and then left her husband, the real husband, okay, that she falls in love with this movie. Okay, I guess she wrote a novel about that too. I'm not going to read it, but let me have one guess about what the topic of that novel is, okay? How to justify her affair, okay? And how to romanticize her leaving her husband for a better woman. You see what I mean? And if you don't like it, okay, that means you're homophobic. You're anti-LGBTQ. You see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about, okay? This is a load of shit. This is her cope. Her trying to justify being a bitch. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? If a guy wrote a book like this, where he just talked about how he fucked over people, but yet the whole book, the point of the book is him like learning how not to feel guilty about it. It's like he keep going on and doing it again. That's Eat, Pray, Love in a nutshell. That's this movie. That's the book. That's what it is. Okay? That's exactly what it is. I'm going to call it out. Okay. So we left off last time, like I said, Liz is in Bali now. Okay, she saw the shaman. She does not respect his rules. She's not allowed to take the sacred texts with her, but she does. She steals them to make Xerox copies. I mean, she's going to bring them back. Okay, but she wants to make Xerox copies of them. All right. All that's going on here, like I said, there's this fat woman there working for the shaman who speaks really good English. The shaman speaks decent. I mean, I can't understand what the fuck he's saying half the time, but every once in a while he says an English word that I understand, so I can piece together what he's trying to say. Okay, there's a lot of that in this movie, not understanding people. All right, so finally, after she steals the books and puts them in her bag, she gets shown her new apartment. It's an outdoor house, you could say. There's no walls. It's an outdoor house with no walls. Maybe there's walls around the bathroom, I'm not sure, but it's there's no walls. Okay, it's kind of like a tent with no walls. I guess they never expected to hurricane there or anything, right? Okay, no tornadoes, nothing like that. It never gets freezing cold there. Okay, so yeah. So some white guy shows her it and she decides to take it. Okay, I guess she's renting it. Okay, it's an outdoor house, and that's where she's gonna be living while she's in Bali. All right. She continues to visit Ketut, the shaman, the toothless shaman, to get her bullshit magical fortune-telling powers. You know, he's supposed to be teaching her that shit. You know, and all it really is a bunch of Mr. Miyagi lessons about balance. Must have balance, Daniel-san. Balance, purpose of all life. You know, that kind of bullshit, like wax on, wax off bullshit. That's all it is here. There's nothing in here that you can't fucking, get from fucking watching, the middle part of the Karate Kid. Okay, it's the same fucking shit. Life all about balance. You need balance. Fuck you. Yes, balance is pretty fucking obvious. Without balance, you would fall over. Okay, when you lean too much on one side, you're going to become addicted. To lean too much on the other side, okay, you're going to be repulsed. Okay, that's just common sense. Okay, you don't need to go to a fucking shaman on the other side of the world to figure that shit out. All right. Anyway, so that's going on here. And like I said, I can barely understand a fucking thing that Ketut says. Okay, or a lot of people in this movie. Even later on when we meet Felipe, when we meet Javier Bardem, I can't understand a motherfucking thing that guy says, and I speak Spanish. And I still can't fucking understand him. Because what we got what the fuck is this? All right. All right, so he has to meditate. She has to meditate, he tells her. She has to meditate in the morning and enjoy Bali during the day, and then see him in the afternoon. So he gives her some instructions, okay? In the morning, it's very important that you meditate here, okay? And then after that, you can go hang out in Bali, okay? Do whatever you want there, but then come back here in the afternoon to meet me for the lessons, okay? So that becomes her syllabus for the day, okay? She goes to Bali, to downtown Bali, and guess what? It's a shithole. No. You expect it to be nice? No, it's a shithole. Just like Calcutta was. It's a shithole. All right? There's filth everywhere. There's litter everywhere. There's animals everywhere. There's sick people everywhere. Okay? I mean, this thing fucking has never seen penicillin. Okay? It just looks nasty and fucking gross. Okay? Why the fuck would anyone want to go there? Unless you're evading like the IRS or something like that, So, yeah, it's a shithole just like Calcutta. Liz uses a Xerox machine, like I said, to copy the ancient manuscripts, the text that she stole from Ketut. Later on, Ketut tells her to sit and smile with her face, her head, and her liver. What the fuck does that mean? Sit and smile with your face, with your head, and with your liver. How do you smile with your liver? So that's what Liz does. She just sits there in her yogi pose and just like that, thinking about big black cocks. I don't know. That's what it looks like to me. Okay, so that's going on here. Okay, she does. She does her whole stupid. I'm a rich white middle-aged woman trying out a non-white culture so I can put it on Facebook pose. That's what it is. That's what she's thinking about. Sorry. Okay. Is that she's just out there to fucking put this shit on social media to show everybody, all the women in her social circle, women whose respect she wants, to fucking look at her and tell, oh my God, she is so cool. She's so brave. She's so, courageous. She's a boss bitch. Look at what she's doing. She's out there posing like this in Bali. You see, like that, her gay friends, all that kind of shit. Okay, that's what it's all about for her. All right. Some dude named Felipe, we finally get introduced to Felipe. He's driving in some fucking Jeep, okay, listening to some stupid ass music. All right, he's driving in a Jeep, okay. At the same time, further down the road, Liz is riding her bicycle, like she always does. She rides her bicycle. He is distracted, okay, because the tape player is playing some fucking song. Who knows what the song is? I don't give a shit. but I guess the tapes got stuck or something. So he's trying to fidget with the tape. Yes, cassette tapes. Okay, this movie's 2010. We had cassette tapes back then. Okay, I got plenty right here. Okay, I know it's an old thing to do, but we had them back in the day. All right, and sometimes they would jam up while they were in the cassette player machine. Okay, you have to eject it, and like the whole tape would be out. You have to pull it out and stuff. You have to rip it out of there, which would break the tape. You can never play it again. You know, that kind of thing. That happened back in the day. So that's what he's listening to, some stupid ass song. The tape got jammed or something. So while he's fucking with that, he's not paying attention to the road, and so he almost runs over Liz on her bicycle. All right. Okay, so that's going on here. She falls off her bicycle. Okay, and gets a big cut on her leg. You know, and he tries to apologize. He's like, oh, that looks bad. Okay. So he tries to apologize to her, but of course, you know, fuck you, you asshole. Watch where you're going. That kind of thing. You know? Okay, so the next scene here is she goes back to visit Ketut. I guess she was on her way to go see him. And that fat assistant that speaks really good English is there. Okay. And she asked Liz if the man in the Jeep was rich. Okay, if he was a rich guy. Okay, because obviously this fat fucking woman, all she gives a shit about, okay, is that Liz find a man and get married. Okay, so these people, just like the old Italian woman when they were in Italy, okay, are judgmental of Liz for being single at her age. Now, I don't know how old Liz is in real life when this supposedly happened to her, but I do know that Julia Roberts was 42 when she filmed this movie, okay? So they're being judgmental of her for not being married and not having children, not having a husband, okay? Get the fuck out of here. If this woman's 42 years old and she has no fucking children, okay, she's never going to have fucking children because she doesn't want to be a fucking mom, okay? And she's divorced, which means she don't want to be married. She don't want to be tied down either, okay? Okay, now if that's what she wants, that's fine, okay? But she needs to show the whole thing, okay? She's gonna end up she's gonna be fucking alone. Alone. She's gonna spend her geriatric years alone. That's the part of this movie don't tell you. Okay, you think her job gives a shit about her? You think the career that she gave up everything for gives two fucking shits about her feelings or her health or anything like that? No, they don't. You think her career is gonna come visit her in the hospital when she's dying? Is her career going to pay for her fucking funeral? Is her career going to go see her when she's depressed? No. It's not. But that's what she put in front, and that's what she's telling you ladies to do too. And what's sad is a lot of you already did it. Okay, a lot of you that are watching this video right now, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know goddamn well I'm telling you the truth. I know I'm telling you the truth. You know why? Because I've seen it myself. I've seen it in women. I know women like Liz that watched that movie, and that read that book, that believed all that shit. And I see where they are now. Okay? And the ones that got out of it had to make a lot of sacrifices and give up a lot of things in order to get to where they are. But most women aren't willing to do that. They're not willing to say like, oh, you know what? I think I do want to be married. I think I do want to have kids. I think my career is not as important as my family. You know, I think I'm going to stay with my husband. I think I'm going to live a good life with him instead of fucking globetrotting and riding the cock carousel. Because if I do that, I'm going to lose all the things that are important to me. And it sure is fucking eating nice food in fucking Italy. Okay? Or praying in a fucking bubonic plague infested temple. Okay? You see what I mean? This is what I'm talking about. Or listening to witch doctors. Spending all my money on witch doctors on the other side of the world. You see what I'm saying here? Okay? But you'd never know that if you just watch this movie and base your life on that. All right? I see what happens to these women. Okay? And if you're young, ladies, if you're young, please, I know you're not going to listen to me. I know that, but I got to try anyway. Okay? Don't do this shit. Don't do this. Okay? If you got something good going on in your life, okay, stick with it. Okay? If you happen to find a guy who gives a shit about you, respects you, all those kind of things, turns you on, can make you come, all that kind of stuff, all right, is loyal to you and treats you good, okay? Don't fucking throw that guy away, okay? Because, a guy like that, it's going to be very difficult to find a guy like that, especially as you get older, okay? You're not going to have to settle, okay? And then you're really going to be unhappy. And then you really are going to be Liz. That's what Liz did. She dated a bunch of guys, okay, that were beneath her, okay? So that she could feel better about herself. She married guys. She dated guys that didn't, that were beneath her, okay? Because the guys that were above her scared her. They dumped her. They pumped and dumped her. They didn't want to take her seriously. They didn't want to put a ring on it. And that offended her. Okay? That offended her that High Value Man didn't see her as anything other than a fucking pump and dump. And that pissed her off. You see what I mean? That's why she never dated a High Value Man. A good guy. Okay? Because she was scared. She was scared of what happens if that guy leaves me. What happens if that guy does to me what I do to these low value men? Oh! Not only would that make me low value, how the hell am I ever going to recover? Ah. You see what I mean? Liz has never had her heart broken because Liz had never dated anyone that she was ever really in love with. You see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Because the guys that she would fall in love with didn't want her. Can't have vulnerability, right? That goes against being a boss bitch. All right. So that's going on here. Okay. She does her meditation, all that kind of crap. Okay. The fat assistant at Ketut's hut tells her, ask her if the guy was rich. Ketut tells her that she needs to go see a real doctor. He's not a real doctor. He's a healer, but not really a healer. Okay, he's a charlatan. Okay, he's a quack. Okay, he's one of those guys that do those medicine road shows from the 1800s. You pay him money for nothing. He can't heal her. He doesn't know anything about antibiotics. He's a fraud. He's a friggin' fraud. Okay, like really? Like she spent, how much money did she spend to go to Indonesia, to go to Bali, twice, no less, to find out that this healer, this doctor, can't do shit. He can't really heal. Okay. All right, so that's going on here. Okay. So she has to go see a Balinese traditional healer. Okay, another witch doctor there. Okay, what the fuck, dude? There's no like professional medicals there. Okay, medical professionals there. Okay, people that actually went to medical school, became doctors. They understand science. They understand, how bacteria works and things like nothing like that there. Okay. Okay. So of course everyone at this at the Balinese Traditional Healing Center, they all speak English well, as because Liz can't be bothered to learn the fucking language there. I mean, she learned Italian while she's in Italy, but those are all white people, so that's good. But once she goes to Calcutta, she can't speak Hindu. Once she goes to Bali, twice no less, she doesn't bother to learn the language there. So what the fuck? So everybody there bothered to learn English for her, though. See what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So the witch doctor gives Liz some herbal tea to drink, and the doctor's daughter also speaks English and asks if Liz is married. So even the little fucking Balinese girl that's there, okay, is also judging Liz on whether or not she's married, okay? And Liz, of course, gives the regular speech. No, I'm a boss bitch and I don't need no man. The typical feminist bullshit that these movies all have in common, okay? So even the witch doctor, even this little girl's mother, the witch doctor asks if Liz used to be married, okay? Because she's also divorced, okay? So that she can smell her own. Okay, so I guess this witch doctor is also a fucking feminist too, okay? And apparently everyone around the world, women judge divorced women except in America. So apparently everywhere that Liz has gone to, she gets judged for not being married. It's only in America where women don't judge her for being a boss bitch. Single, no kids, riding the cock carousel, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, because we all know that's going to lead to a happy ending. All right. Okay, so that's going on here. The witch doctor starts reading Liz's future because all the doctors in Bali are also fortune tellers. That's like their side hustle. Okay, like even like if you go to a shop and buy something, they're also going to read your fucking fortune too, because that's their main claim to fame over there. That's their number one industry, is fortune telling. Okay, so that's going. Even the bathroom attendants there read your fucking fortune by looking at your fucking turd. Okay. For some reason, I remember I was in this shithole little rinky-dink town in Tennessee once, and I remember that the tanning salons and the video stores were the same fucking place. So So I'm guessing here in Bali, like the 7-Eleven, the frozen yogurt store, and the fortune telling place are all the same thing. All the same person. Okay, anyway. So that's going on here. Okay, the witch doctor starts reading Liz's future because that's the only medical school they have there in Bali. Okay, she knows that Liz is horny and hasn't been fucked in a while. So she tells Liz, I'll pray for you, sister. So even she's a fucking feminist, okay? This fucking rinky-dink fucking lady, okay, in the middle of fucking Bali, who's single, divorced, single mom, okay, running a fucking Balinese healing shop, okay, / yogurt stand, okay, with her fucking little girl, who's also a fucking a judgmental bitch, okay, yeah, she's the one that's fucking, that's saying, I'll pray for you, sister. What the fuck, man? Anyway, so now some other third wave Brazilian feminist walks in there. Her name's Arminia, and she also has a fucking accent, so I can't understand a fucking thing she's saying either. But she has a South American accent, okay? And she came in there. She walks in there all bubbly, vivacious. Hi, I'm Arminia. Oh my God, I came here to get a banana treatment for my hair because I wanted it to look straight and luscious like Cher. Why the fuck are you speaking English? Okay, why the fuck are you speaking English in Bali? English is not even your fucking language, but you're speaking English. Why? You don't know Liz? You just see a white woman there. Okay, but this is the ridiculousness of this movie. Okay? You'd think she'll at least speak the fucking language there. And then to Liz, she'll speak English. Okay, so she walks in there acting like a fucking, bubbly fucking life of the party bitch. Okay, okay, and Arminia looks at Liz there, sees a white woman sitting there, and immediately wants to be best friends with Liz. Like she sees her and goes, oh, another sister. Okay, you know what? We're going to go clubbing. We're going to go hang out at the beach. I'm at a party at the beach house. Lots of alcohol. Lots of well-hung young men. Oh, my God. You're going to have such a good time. Everyone needs a little romance while they're in Bali. That's what it's here for. Oh, my God. You know, you're going to meet so many guys. You're going to get fucked up. You're going to get filled out like an application. And you're going to love it. And, of course, Liz is like, well, I kind of hurt my leg. And the witch doctor, no, you can dance on it. It's fine. I think. So, yeah, so that's going on here. Okay. And here's another thing. Okay. This is what I'm talking about, the selfishness. Okay. This is one of the reasons this movie is very badly written. Okay. Once again, Liz has to do absolutely nothing to earn the friendship of all these people. Everywhere she goes, people approach her and want to be her best friend. They want to talk to her. They want to hang out with her. Okay, they want to confide their deepest, darkest secrets and desires to her. Okay, and she has done absolutely nothing to earn it. This goes on throughout the entire movie. This isn't just here in Bali. Okay, this was in New York. Okay, this was in fucking in Calcutta. Okay, like for example, Tulsi just came up to her and wanted to be her fucking best friend and immediately start talking about how her parents are making her fucking marry this guy that she doesn't want to fucking marry. Okay, when she was in Italy, every motherfucker she met in Italy immediately went up to her, approached her. She didn't approach them. And immediately wanted to help her, wanted to hang out with her, wanted to introduce her to their friends, wanted to go out to eat with her, wanted to go on vacations with her. All this stuff happened. And she did absolutely nothing to earn it. Nothing at all. She never once went up to somebody and said, hey, hello, I'm Liz. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Let me introduce. She never did that. She never does that throughout the entire fucking movie. Never. Every person goes up to her and offers something to her. She never goes up to anybody and offers something to them. You see what I mean? That's what's going on here. Okay? Everyone goes to her. Okay? Now, I said this a couple of videos ago, especially I think when I was talking about the Rome stuff, when they were in Italy. Okay? But I know women that have a magnetic personality. I know women that can attract people to them. They're the life of the party, okay? Everyone wants to be their friend. People want to hang out with her. But I know women like that, many women like that, okay? They have that magnetic personality. Liz Gilbert does not have a magnetic personality. She doesn't. She's very solitary. She's very much alone all the time. Alone with herself, alone with her feelings. This whole movie is fucking cope. She has no fucking personality. That's why she's a fucking writer. Okay, she can't talk to people. She has to write it down. and have them read it from a distance so they don't actually have to fucking look at her, okay, when they're trying to comprehend her thoughts. You see what I mean? She doesn't do good with people. She does on the page. So to make up for these lack of talent, okay, for her lack of social skills, she has to write herself as the life of the party, okay? But what we got here is a case of show and tell. You're telling me everything, you're showing me nothing. If you want me to believe that Liz Gilbert is the life of the party, she's a very affable person, and people just are drawn to her, okay, then you got to show me how she fucking did it. Okay, because sitting there and turning food into shit is not going to make you the most popular woman in the whole fucking world. All right, so that's going on. Even the fucking witch doctor tells her she needs to go fucking to the party, go to the beach party and get laid. All right, so later Liz takes off her bandage. She puts on her green dress and she decides to go to the beach party, okay? And guess what? It's all white people there. Yeah, in Bali. Okay, and they all speak English. Okay, although there's a lot of Australians there, so they speak English with an Australian accent because it is Indonesia after all. Okay, and she couldn't, and could she have gotten that in America? I mean, she's from New York, right? Don't they have any clubs over there? Yeah, of course they do. Of course they do. All right. Anyway, guess what? Like I said, all white people. Guess who shows up at this beach party? Felipe, the guy that almost ran her over. Okay, the reason she's got that cut on her leg. He shows up there. Okay, he offers to buy her a drink. Okay, because he almost ran her over. He feels guilty about it, right? He's got nothing to say to her, though. He's not a conversationalist either. Okay, but he sits next to her anyway. And he orders a bottle of water for himself. Okay, so here's a woman that you almost ran over with your car. Okay, you feel bad about it, so you strike up a conversation. Hey, I'm sorry, can I buy you a drink? I feel bad about what happened, blah, blah, blah. She says no. And he's like, oh, okay. And he just sits there anyway and orders some bottled water. And it's this awkward silence. Like, what the fuck are you sitting there for then? Okay, clearly this woman doesn't fucking like you. She doesn't accept your apology. She doesn't want your fucking alcohol. Okay? So fucking leave her alone then. What the fuck are you doing there? Sitting there, spying on her for the rest of the fucking night. Following her out to the beach where she goes out with other men. What the fuck is wrong with you? What kind of man fucking does this? Anyway. So that's going on here. Okay, he sits next to her anyway, and then he starts laughing because I guess the song that's playing, I don't know what the fucking song is. Apparently, it's the same song that was playing when he almost ran her over. It's the reason he got distracted by the tape player, the cassette player in his car, in his Jeep. Okay, because that song, he was listening to it, it got stuck, and while he was trying to unstuck it, that's when he almost ran her over. And now they're playing that song right now at the beach club. Okay, so he figures it's a coincidence. All right, or maybe it's fate or some shit like that. Okay, and he tells her, he tells her, you know what? With that stupid fucking Spanish accent of his, I'm actually very much into Phil Collins, okay, and Mary J. Blige. Get the fuck, yeah, you look like you fucking listen to Mary J. Blige. Oh, yeah, oh, sweet thing. Don't you know you're my everything? Yeah, he looks like that. He looks like a guy that would listen to that song all fucking day. Or maybe, Sudia. Oh! Yeah, he looks like that too, doesn't he? Right? What the fuck, dude? I guess this is his way of hitting on Julia Roberts. Okay. So that's going on here. Okay. And once again, I can't understand anything that these fucking people are saying. I can't even understand Javier Bardem. Okay. And I speak Spanish and I don't fucking understand what the fuck he's saying. Okay. Okay. So Liz, of course, insults him. And I get it. I mean, he did like almost run her over because he wasn't paying attention. So she insults him. Okay, and then all of a sudden Armenia shows up. The life of the party girl, yeah, that one. Okay, she shows up, and guess what? It turns out that Felipe is Armenia's brother. Okay, that's her brother is Felipe. Okay, and guess what? He's divorced too. just like Liz, okay? And we'll get to that in the next video. I'm starting to lose my fucking shit about this. All right, this movie is so fucking terrible. All right, I want to thank you very much for watching this long, and I'll be back to continue my review of this piece of crap. I'll see you soon on the next one. Bye.